The energy policy in the European Union, what's interesting about that is how it impacts geopolitically, how it interacts with the American policy, how it interacts with Chinese policy, and then also energy moves a lot of money around the world, and so that has a big impact and a lot of interest from a media perspective as well.
And that may come obviously from the policymakers themselves. They're the ones making the policy, so obviously anything that comes from them is going to be extremely important. It's always going to be how does the business position on a given issue may actually affect policies being shaped up here in Brussels.
But I think that energy, along with tech and some other industries, is one of the sectors which Brussels has quite a lot of influence on, especially now with all the legislation going forward after the Paris Climate Agreement and the Commission's new big winter package.
We're often trying to communicate Brussels to a wider audience, so trying to break down the jargon that we hear every day into some sort of meaningful language for a reader who isn't necessarily in Brussels.
So sometimes difficult to parse out how every interested party, such as companies or consumers, will be affected by change.
What we appreciate the most at EurActiv is being given advanced notice about stuff that is coming up. So if there's a vote in the Parliament, if there's a new initiative coming out of the European Commission, we like to be told in advance.
What is really useful is people senior in companies having time to do background briefings or interviews with the journalists.
People who can provide both sides of the story is also really helpful. And people who can also provide something that's slightly different, because often if you're getting sort of 5 or 6 emails from a group of NGOs or an industry group, they're probably going to be quite similar. So trying to stand apart as well would be great.